Spring 2018. These are each of the trees that I've raised up since babies. I mean babies, like seeds either from here or from my parents' house. Peaches and nectarines. All the plants coming back at the dead of spring. There's different types of bulbs and calendulas and scabiosa and clary sage. And you see in the background there the daylilies. Those were my grandmother's triplets, so there's 3 layers. You see irises there, all the way down. This is a big old mulberry that I've been bringing up and up and up. All these are in the original dirt journal videos and stuff. But I like this time of year because you can see the pruning structure, so I'm letting this one go huge and dominate over the top. Getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the daffodils, and this is it looks all super manicured, but what it is just logs, rocks that I've gathered, dirt that I've stirred, and wood chips, and everything else brought in just a bare root and seedlings. And there's the plum that I was pruning in one of the fall time videos, and you can see it's just loaded with blooms. It's its first heavy year of bloom, so it's just weeping and weeping down. And these are plums, so it's hard to keep it bare up to there, but got the fig on the sandbox, even though the sandbox is rarely used these days. Everybody's getting older. I spy you, cat. This is the garden unused so far. It's on the shady side of the house. But yeah, you can see the artichokes beyond there. It's really just a small yard. There's one fence, and then the other fence line is the bushes there. It's less than half an acre. It's steep, goes down to the creek. So I've terraced the whole thing. Just brought in the serpentine walls. So these are some of the first that I built up here for myself. Not these are just little border lines. But yeah, excited as always to see it all coming back. Look at that mulberry. I've actually done a lot of pruning on it to make it look like that. They tend to want to be a huge gangly sloppy thing. Look at the blooms on there. This is where the trampoline was. We've moved it out to the other side of the house, so this will be Danielle's vegetable garden this year. So that's what the sprouts and seedlings are for. And hoping to get a little bit more mild climate on this side of the house. And so there's the before on that. This was a volunteer peach that came from one. See, I got ice on the deck. A little fire ring I made set into the ground. Here's the look of it though. That's all the flat that I got, and that just goes straight downhill. These are just logs set in crossways of staircases and then off down the way. See the daffodils. The chickens are looking at me like, feed me. This one's an almond and peach and peach. And they do better up here than the plums and the olives for some reason. I don't know why. The olives get frostbitten, if you can believe that, and the plums get the boar beetles in them. So. So these are all daylilies that have gone crazy. You can see them all the way down. Yeah, it's put in a top row. And they've spread and spread and spread. There's some irises mixed in here too. They're the bluer flat ones. and daffodil. And I left this dead up to mark this. These are Shasta daisies that are coming back. But yeah, what I use cement blocks and just regular rocks here. Gato! These are all bulbs getting ready to go crazy. They've just spread and spread. There's probably 5 there originally, like the iris in the background and the daffodil. But I like this time of the year because it makes just the greens. But yeah, literally, this was just 5 bulbs. Just been here long enough to take care of it and tend it. These are the artichokes all popping up for the year. They produce about 5 pups every year, so you can just take them, and that's all I did here. You can see I'm still fighting the grass in these zones. There's kind of a before. I mean, it's a rough zone, but you start bringing the rocks in, your wood chips, you know. You see, this is just a bag of cement that went south and blocks of stuff, topped with natural rock. And I got to get in here and do each one of these, and it's not just to be particular. Cat, you're killing me. You want to be the star here? It says rub, rub, rub on the camera. Here. Oh, bonk. Okay, that's Ninja. She's a ninja. She's a mouser. Yeah, here's that plum. Here's the blooms on there. But if you notice, no petals. So that's what we're working with. But you can see its form. I've kind of topped it off and bringing it all sideways. So, but yeah, if you let one little grass clump go, then the next year you have 90, and the year after that 1,000. So that's part of the deal here, so that I can have some definition. This is what I've done with the pups. So obviously needs more wood chips and stuff to cover up the weeds and them pulled before they go to seed. There's a row of iris going crazy, so they'll spread and spread. Instead of trying to hold this barren, I'll probably develop it and then put more bulbs in there. They tend to crowd out the grass. These are all poppies that you see. Even the redwoods out here get kind of frost burnt. Here are 2 more of my plums that I like a lot that I've done from sprout. So it's the yellow Santa Maria, and then it's the yellow and then the cherry plum. But they'll mix up and make a nice little blush hybrid out of the 2 of them from the seeds when they fall. And yeah, that's about it. So, early spring. I think that one's got good form. Kind of brought all its energy up in one thing and then focused it into the area that's most usable by me, my height and my ladders in this property. And now just strengthen that and spread it horizontally. That's part of the name of the game here, is getting enough top shade. There was no trees here. This was undeveloped backyard. These bushes that you see here were the tallest, and they're a native oak. And this side of the yard here had all been scraped to put lines down and do all the developing and to put the house here, which was new in 2006. So this was literally down to the clay and had the tailings of the cement from the foundations and stuff, and then scrub brush and oats and star thistle that had grown. So the tall that you see that's native is what I left because it was deep enough to get in. So I've skirted it up underneath. You can't see that from here because I left the uphill side like a shade side, but down inside there it's all little pathways. And the rest of it I took out and I replaced with this, which gave me an upper story quicker, and it was an upper story that's usable, so it's all fruit trees and stuff. These are all violets. This is probably 6 different little irises that I put here that went crazy and came downhill. These things spread around, they die off. This was all my time here last year, and you can see it got so frost burnt that it's down to just a couple whips, so it may never come back, and that was like a blue blanket, but something else will fill that in. You see the ice plants have done the same thing. They're eating the walls, but that's good. This place barely needs me anymore. You can see it, just I gotta walk around and do some weeding. But I mean, this was just scrub and stuff, and now this is all mint that's gonna come back. The bare area, that's a solid mint, and then this is a lilac, native lilac, and it's about to bloom. And just simple set in the dirt. This was a strawberry bed. Strawberries had a hard time. Now I see 1,000 hollyhocks coming up in it, so you never know. It might be the upper story with just a scattering of strawberries underneath there. We get about 115 degrees, so it's really hard to sustain stuff, even though it looks lush now. There's the understory of those bushes under there. This is the only actual shade that we came with. But yep, there you go. This shelf of strawberries here seems to be doing better, so they might be the ones that survive. Got a little fig in behind it. And a row of little young grapes trying to pioneer, but you never know. Too dry, too wet, something. But they're doing good so far. And then redwoods, I'm hoping for the future. Got them scattered out. And that could look cool, because it's a really arid area, so it'd be cool to get some big tall trees sticking up out of the neighborhood. It's the name of the game up here, though, or anywhere, is keeping, if you don't want to deal with weeds and you want to hold in your moisture, just keep everything sealed up and, you know, growing together. Keep one thing knitting into the next. So this is all oregano. You see down here a whole patch of it, and I just mix it with violet. I'm not that picky about what's growing, as long as it's desirable, that's enjoying mixing with the others and can share space. That's kind of how I've determined my companion planting, or whatever you want to call it. Some of them do damage together, or do damage to each other, and some of them are copacetic and weave in well and actually benefit each other. So a lot of experimentation, and then doing stuff in mass like nature does it, throwing out lots of seeds and using the sprouts and the pups off one thing and just putting them on all kinds of different spots, and then that way when some die and then the others don't, it doesn't matter. Springtime. But yeah, we've had hard frost every night and rain, so not very many bees or anything moving.